Lime. Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who bring the best to you each morning. The widest choice of cereals in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's with great pleasure that I introduce as our next panelist the brilliant author of the screenplay of the film Suddenly Last Summer and the new Broadway hit The Best Man, Mr. Gore Vidal.
I should like to introduce a very beautiful, young, new author whose new book, That Certain Something, has just come out. Her name is Mrs. Martin Gable, and sometimes she's called Arlene Francis.
And now, a gentleman whose publishing house, Random House, is getting bigger than all of us, but he still remains our own endearing panelist, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
In my recent wanderings through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Missouri, I discovered an erroneous impression exists. People think that John Daly is taller than I am. Now, the facts are these. I am 6 foot 1/2 inch, and he is 6 foot 1/8 of an inch. And here he is. Look for yourselves. John Charles Shorty Daly.
The truth of the matter is I am a half an inch taller than Bennett, but he wears elevated shoes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Vidal, nice to have you with us on the panel. Nice to have such a large and enthusiastic audience in the theater. And we'll go up, I think, tonight to another peak of confounding and confusing, the panel. We'll also have a famous mystery guest a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this word. And now let's meet our first challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Bonnie? Bonnie Harrington, right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Harrington? Mrs. Harrington. Well, congratulations to your husband.
Thank you.
Where are you from, Mrs. Harrington?
Miami Beach.
Miami Beach. How nice to have you with us. May I present our panel? Miss Harrington panel, will you join me over here, please, ma'am? You know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
If you know how we keep score, let's let the audience in the theater and folks at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we will tell you that Mrs. Harrington is salaried, that Mrs. Harrington deals in a service, and let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Ooh. Mrs. Harrington, could anyone on this panel take advantage of your services?
Yes.
Yes.
Under certain circumstances.
Are you likely to work indoors more than outdoors?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
But you can work outdoors, too.
Yes.
Is your work physical as well as mental?
Sometimes.
Do you require any special training? I don't mean education, a degree, but any special training to do what you do?
Yes.
Would you say that it was unlikely that anybody on this panel could do what you do?
Yes. Oh, but I shouldn't answer the question.
Yes.
I would say that it's unlikely in terms of the specifics of training necessary Given that training, you might be able to, but certainly in present terms, it's unlikely.
You deal in services, so I take it that there is not a product connected with what you do. But do you deal with any objects or tools or things in your work?
Yes.
Are any of them in the animal kingdom?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
In the animal kingdom.
In the animal kingdom? No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Vidal.
This is for a profit that you work. It's not. It is for a profit-making organization, or is it? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Profit-making. And it deals with both men and women. Do you get around a great deal physically while you do this? I mean, are you on your feet a great deal?
Sometimes.
There's the understatement of the year, I'll bet.
Does it involve a great deal of travel, sort of house-to-house travel?
No.
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you instruct anything? Do you instruct anybody in doing anything? Teach them anything?
Yes.
Is it an instruction in some sport or some activity of some kind?
Sometimes.
Would it be anything that could be done on or underwater?
Sometimes.
Do you wear special equipment in order to do this? Sometimes.
Sometimes in this.
May I suppose that there are, therefore, several areas that you teach, as opposed to one specific thing?
Well, sometimes, yes.
Would you be able to teach children what you do?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Does it have anything to do with, could one of the sometimes be either skin diving or aquaplaning or skiing? Sometimes?
Yes.
Well, obviously you're in the sometimes business.
Sometimes in my
Are you in charge of a lot of girls and boys? Do you have a class of some kind?
Yes.
Where am I?
You're doing splendidly.
It's non-profit, so I can rule out schools.
Oh, it's profit.
Oh, it's profit-making. I meant it's profit-making, so I can rule out schools. I can't rule out schools. Shall we go for schools, everybody? Do you have some sort of a school, or are you a teacher in a school?
Yes.
Well, good luck. Are you a physical education teacher?
No.
No, that's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr.
Glad to
Cerf.
be off.
Mrs. Harrington, do you ever have any contact whatever with visitors to Miami Beach in the shape of tourists or their children?
Sometimes. Yes.
Do you work, can we rule out the fact that, I'm going to ask this in the form of a no. Do you not work for one of the big hotels on Miami Beach?
No.
You
Yes, no.
do not. You do
Yes,
not.
no.
Yes. Do you have a school of your own where people can enroll?
No.
That's 3 down and 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Harrington, do you have anything to do with dancing?
Sometimes.
Is it possible that you teach dancing?
As a vocation
Among
per se.
other things.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Vidal.
Well, is it, do you need a great deal of mental training for this? I mean, is it an intellectual pursuit?
Yes.
It is.
May we have a conference?
You may have 30 seconds for a conference.
You know, we've been getting sometimes and no's to so many things. Do you think that it's something where she performs rather than teaches, and we've been led down the garden path on
But
teaching?
she does teach, she said.
No, she
Yes,
teaches.
but it could be something that she does that instructs other people. Maybe she models or illustrates something. I don't know. It's just a thought.
30 seconds are up.
And I pass.
Miss Arlene?
Well, I'm way out, and if it's an intellectual pursuit, you are not a social director, are you?
No.
Of any kind. Now, did you rule out school entirely? Did I understand that was ruled out?
We haven't ruled it out.
I see. Do you work with a school or a university of some kind?
Yes.
Well, is it the University of Miami?
No.
No. 6 and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
It's not the university. Is the university that you work with? Is its are its
You got your
headquarters?
no already. You don't even have to keep going. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mrs. Harrington,
You don't look so tall in the saddle now, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Harrington, have you a connection with the school, which has, your connection has various facets? Yes. Is that correct? So you
Yes.
do not necessarily have to teach all the time. You can do other things, too.
She can learn.
Actually, you've been right around, skirting around the edge of this for the last 10 minutes. She's a kindergarten teacher. And Bennett, considering your height and your mental age, oh my, it's the Drexel School in Miami Beach. If you want to enroll, that is.
He doesn't know about kindergarten.
I'm not old enough.
Yes, Dorothy?
I was just wondering about the little kiddies going underwater for their instruction.
Sure.
It was on or in.
Oh.
On or in.
And they go to kindergarten in the water?
No, the youngsters are down there. I understand that they go right from the cradle into the swimming pool.
Okay.
Something like that. Good help your life. Thank you very much. We had a lot of fun. It was nice of you to be our guest and what's not. All right, let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please? Edward R. Blind. Is that right, sir? Where are you from, Mr. Blind?
Lutherville, Maryland.
Lutherville, Maryland.
Yes, sir.
All right, may I present our panel? Blind. Now, will you join me over here, Mr. Blind? You know how to keep score?
Yes, sir.
Fine. We'll tell the folks here and at home what your line is. All right, panel. We'll tell you that Mr. Blind is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Blind, your splendid physique is very outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
Does it have anything to do with the work that you do?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute now. Mr. Blind would like to review his previous answer and give you another one. Give him another answer, Mr. Blind.
Not necessarily.
That's right. In fact, flat no. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Blind, could both men and women take advantage of your services?
Yes.
If we were living in Maryland, in the proper place, could anyone here on the panel take advantage of your services?
Yes.
In other words, it's not confined to a particular sex.
No.
Do you by any chance work... Oh, let me ask you this first. Are you what you would consider an executive?
Are you what you would consider an executive?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Vidal.
These services, are they outdoor?
Helpful?
Yes.
Outdoor.
Oh, outdoor, yes.
Uh-huh. And they are physical in some way. Your work is physical. Is your work?
To a degree, yes.
To a degree, yeah.
Uh-huh. Is there some... do men prefer this to women? Could we...
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's some argument about it in some circles, but I think the assumption is that the male of the species is a little more
Does
interested.
it have anything to do with horses?
Yes.
I wasn't told. Horses. Has it anything to do with the training of horses?
No.
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Does it have anything to do with the breeding of horses?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Does it have anything to do with the racing of horses?
Yes.
Are you connected with that famous track down in Maryland?
Laurel.
Pimlico?
Well, I'm not going to... If you're anything like Daly, you're misleading me. Pimlico or Bowie. Isn't Bowie in Maryland?
Yes, Bowie's in Maryland.
Have you anything to do with either Pimlico or Bowie?
Yes.
Are you in charge of one of those tracks?
No.
Nope. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, now, Mr. Blind, you've said you're not an executive. So if you were in charge, you would be an executive. Is that right? So
Yes,
you're
but-
something else connected with the track. But you do what you do mostly out of doors.
Yes.
Are you, when you do what you do, closer than 20 feet away to the horses?
Closer than 20 feet away? Yes, I'm...
Don't tell him. Yes. Just yes.
Yes.
Are you either a judge or a starter?
Starter.
Are you a starter?
Yes.
Kentucky Derby?
Actually, Mr. Blind, I thought of holding out for the biggest jockey that ever was, but I couldn't make it. Now, Mr. Blind is the official starter at
Which track?
Pimlico, Bowie, and also at Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he will be the one who decides when they're off at the Pimlico. And the Preakness, which is the next big race at Pimlico.
Expect you all to be down there.
Well, we'd all like to be there. Some of us will be away working, I'm afraid, somewhere or the other. But if I can make it, I will. And he tries to stand there with a hand on the button and decide when everything is fair and square and every horse has an even chance. And they throw a saddle on me, and I bust right out of the gate. Is that right? Thanks very much, sir.
I
It was an
enjoyed it very
interesting
much, John.
occupation. Nice to have you with us. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which my friends on the panel, as you all know, are always blindfolded. Are the blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we begin with Arlene Francis.
Would your name be on the entertainment pages of the newspaper?
I would say yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Have you ever been or are you at present in a play that is running on Broadway? No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Was that a yes or no, John?
That was a no.
Were you born somewhere other than the United States?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Vidal.
Are you most associated with television?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, are you most associated with motion pictures?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Is there a picture in which you appear currently running in one of the big on or just off Broadway theaters? No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you do anything besides perform in films? I mean, do you do anything musical, such as singing or playing an instrument?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes?
Vidal? Mm-hmm.
Are you a leading man at present?
Of sorts.
Miss Francis?
Have you been in pictures for more than 10 years?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Are you married to a lady who is also in the public eye? No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
I'd like to get back to music. Do you sing?
After a fashion?
Mr. Vidal?
I pass.
Miss Francis?
Well, are you primarily known as a dramatic actor?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Are you very capable in physical achievements as well as acting? Has been said. I can't...
It has been said. Miss Kilgallen?
Are you currently Excuse me, John, but could we backtrack? Has it been established that he's not currently appearing in a play on Broadway?
Yes.
Oh. No play, no picture. No play, no picture. Not television. Not a word. Okay. Do you dance?
Yes. Mr. Vidal?
Did you ever win an Academy Award?
Yes. Miss Francis?
Yes. Is a picture of yours about to open on Broadway?
No. Wait a minute.
Big trouble. But he's dramatic.
But he's Miss Arlene, so that you're not misled, what do you mean by about?
Well, I mean within the next month, has he been making a picture that will open soon? You know, one of those soon-to-be-released motion pictures. Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm glad for you.
Mr. Cerf?
Did you get your Academy Award for a picture that contains singing and dancing in it?
Yes.
Are you Fred Astaire?
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Vidal.
Are you Gene Kelly?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
But he's not primarily a singer and dancer. Singing and dancing and dramatic. Isn't this agony? Dorothy, has something come over you?
No, I was just agonizing for you, darling.
Oh. Well, have you done pictures that are biographies of people?
Yes.
Yes?
Sir? Yes.
Singing and dancing biographies. Oh, isn't it awful?
Awful.
Let's get his height.
Was the picture Gigi?
Was the picture Gigi? No. 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you over 6 feet tall?
Far from it. 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Vidal.
Are you over 5 feet tall?
A whisker.
I don't know.
You want to have a
Take
conference?
a chance.
Do you want to have it? If you need
No,
it.
Bennett
I
thought he
just
heard
have-
something.
Right.
Was the picture that you won the award for, were you portraying the part of George M. Cohan? Are you Jimmy
Yes.
Cagney?
Yes. One more. All we needed was one more. And, of course, the picture is
Halsey.
Jim Halsey. And I've actually seen some advertisements for it, Jim, if I may say so. The likeness is astonishing when you're in uniform, you know?
Yes, it's quite remarkable, I know. Yeah. I'm very lucky that way. We could supply the eyebrows.
And we were being very honest with you because I said to Jim, isn't Bull Halsey's picture, what is the name of it?
The Gallant Hours.
The Gallant Hours.
Yes.
Isn't it going to open in New York soon? He said, well, not for a month, so I give her a no. So we gave you a break. We gave you a break.
You did it with Bob Montgomery.
That's right. He directed it.
Anyway, you're a marvelous performer, and we don't see nearly enough of you on the screen, and I'm delighted to hear it.
And I might add, at the risk of being accused of plugging things, that Admiral Bull Halsey was one of the great fighting men of our history. It's a wonderful story about a wonderful man, and as Arlene has already noted so adequately, a very fine actor and a fine gentleman playing the part. I think it's going to be a triumph for
Thank
everybody.
you very much. Hope
Good
so.
to have you with us, sir. We'll be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. It's been fun having you with us, Mr. Vidal. I hope you enjoyed your visit with us. And good night, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Good night, John. Good night, Gordon. Thank you for the horse. You really did it.
Thank you. Good night, Arlene Francis.
Good night, dear boy. Good luck in Dutchess County. Good night, Bennett.
John, you eat the sponsor's product, Kellogg's, and you'll be a big boy someday, too. Good night.
And Bennett, you put your shoes back on. That's a little taller than I am. And good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. The preceding program was pre-recorded.